Well, 98,000 people voted in 2022. We won't get that tonight for all the reasons you've just explained. Of course, the weather doesn't help. There's no change of government. That doesn't help. The Grand Prix on. That doesn't help. There's a lot of things happening in Melbourne at the minute. But, Laura, I'm expecting a Liberal victory tonight. It would be profoundly disturbing if we lost this by-election. Dutton's performed very well. Andrew Hurst, the federal director, has run a very good campaign. And Rashina Campbell is an absolute A-grade first-class candidate. The Liberal Party will win tonight. It's a 2.8% margin, but it's actually more than that because Alan Tudge had a much bigger swing against him at the general election than Victorian average. Victorian average is 1.7. Alan had 7.3, so you can argue that this is not a 2.8% seat. Yep. It's close to 8.
So there was baggage there, is what you said.
Unfortunately, Alan copped a whole lot of shocking adverse publicity from essentially emanating from another network that we won't name, but he was very brutally maligned, and accordingly his vote was affected. So I actually think the party starts from higher than 2.8%. Normal by-election swing 5, but it's very early in the government's term. Their popularities increase, so there isn't actually much of a by-election swing involved. So I'd expect Peter Dutton to win tonight. And to all those people that tell me how unpopular he is, remember one thing in politics: if you're the federal leader of whatever party, it's far more important to be respected than liked. And I think Dutton's respected. If I had $1 for every person that told me how much Daniel Andrews was hated in Victoria, the most hated figure of all time, maybe
really
the public,
matter,
rightly or wrongly, the public respected him. And that's what matters, not whether people want to have a beer with you at the pub.
Richard Marles likes Peter Dutton, so, Richard Marles is a Victorian. He's been a big part of this campaign. We'll see what happens there. Just before we go back to the panel, Michael, I want to talk about Anthony Albanese. He was here today. He's not here tonight. It's a different story, obviously, for Peter Dutton. What happens with... Well, how much sway do we put in how Anthony Albanese has been hedging his bets, really? Everyone wants to be the underdog, right? In any election, by-election is no different. He's been saying, well, anything less than a 6 in front of it and a two-party preferred vote for the Liberals will be a disaster. You would expect him to do that. That's what elections are all about. But that is just not going to be the litmus test tonight, is it? And also, I should point out, it's not beyond having swings to governments in by-election. It's happened in Lindsay before, it happened in Griffith when Kevin Rudd retired, for example. So, you can always find stats to suit your argument, and that's what Anthony Albanese did today.
It's not going to be 60%, as we know. I mean, Alan Tudge got just over 60% two-party preferred in 2019. Compared 2019 general election to today, in 2019 that general election was a massacre on Labor's hundreds of billions of dollars tax increases. It was an election fought on the Liberal Party's #1 brand equity, which is tax and economic management, and Alan Tudge had a swing to him of around 3% from 57 in 16, and he got over 60%. Compare that campaign and the mood in 2019 to today. Are those factors at play? No, they're not. So we're not going to get 60%, but I expect Rashina Campbell to win.